talk about Wheeler, there is a legitimate Ranger Suarez problem to be had, and we are going to get to that because in the open of this show, I am going to, I guess, discuss two people that I have an affinity for, but unfortunately I have to go right after. Mm-hmm. And this will start with one, and I forget the texter's name from a couple weeks ago. Ray will just carry the water for Rob Thompson anytime. This is going to be groundbreaking radio because for once I'm going to tell you Rob Thompson was absolutely in the wrong last night. That fifth inning, Ranger Suarez loads him up, gets out of it. You escape unscathed.
That's it.
That's it for you.
That's a handshake. Good job. You did it. Clearly, you're not feeling it right now.
Right.
You survived it.
You survived through 5. Ultimately, it wouldn't matter. They only scored the 1 run. But to me, right there, Rob Thompson in the wrong. And this is a little issue I have with Rob Thompson right now because it's not that it's crushed them a million times. It's not that this is something that, the reason they haven't been able to get further, and now I can't even say the distance in the division because the Mets have done that for you. But the reason they don't have 3 or 4 more wins is because but it's a little problem I have because if you listen to Rob Thompson continue to talk about this rotation and the workload that he wants for them, he keeps saying that, hey, we got to watch their innings. We got to watch the workload of these guys. We got to watch what we're doing. The flip side of this is I've seen Wheeler go back out there for a 7th where it's like through 6 it looks like he's battling right now. I've seen Suarez go back out there for a 6th where it's like through 5, and last night was an example of that where I see him battle through 5 innings. He gives you an opportunity to win the game through those 5 innings, and I understand going to that bullpen, asking more of that bullpen could be a difficult thing, but also you just got a reinforcement in the way of Robertson. You're going to get a reinforcement in the way of Alvarado. If I have to burn Joe Ross in the 6th inning, I don't know if he's going to be here in 2 weeks. To me,
he's not.
That's these are the opportunities you have to save an arm. And I think last night you also saw the actual in-game consequence of that, where he does not save the arm, and the runs pile up against you there. And this is something that really drives me crazy of the last couple of weeks of saying one thing, doing the opposite. You want to protect these arms. You want to limit the innings for these guys, especially an example last night where in the 5th inning, it looked like Suarez was teetering. He hit a batter. He walked a batter on 5 pitches. You start to see just little inconsistencies, and he had it in the first 2 innings. The first 2 innings he had, I'm not going to lie. After that, not really. So once he gets through 5, he's giving you an opportunity to stay in the game with the 3 runs. That's where he has to be done for the day. If you're really about saving these guys' arms, if you really are watching these guys' workloads, and you're also watching this guy in the moment, it's kind of the feel thing where it's that guy has to come out of the game. So last night, yes, the lineup didn't give you anything but the 1 run late when Bryce Harper hits an inconsequential home run. Mm-hmm. So you could be upset at the lineup all you want. I can't really be upset at them with the way they produced over the last couple of weeks. They had an off night. But if we're talking about things that bother me, it's not so much that it lost to the game, but it's something that's inconsistent right now with their messaging, and it's something that I want to see change from this team going forward, is that Rob Thompson, if he's really going to be watching these guys' workloads, you watch him get through 5 innings, that 6th inning happens the way it does, makes it more difficult for you to come back, but also just goes against the entire idea of watching these guys' workloads.
And I think that's the thing. In practice, it's consistent, right? They're doing it. He's saying one thing. He's saying we're trying to save their arms. But consistently, these guys are going back out there for these kind of dangerous innings where they've already struggled to get to that point. They struggled through 6, or in Suarez's case, through 5. And then all of a sudden, he's going back out. I mean, anybody that watched that could see he just didn't have it. And then you see the comments and hear from him after the game, and you're like, he knew he didn't have it. He literally said, I stopped trying to pitch and just threw the ball. Good Lord.
That's good.
I was like, oh, okay. He was just like, I didn't feel it. And so Topper was like, yeah, well, you can't have that mindset. Okay, well, that's a conversation. That's a conversation that you needed to have.
You're in the dugout, Rob.
What are we doing? So that was really frustrating. It was frustrating to watch, and then you hear the comments afterwards, and I was like, no. So I am confused because you do say you want to save, and you have. There's times where, we're not going to pitch Christopher Sanchez for the complete game. He just had the complete game. We're trying to watch their innings or whatever. He had a gem. He had 84 pitch, right? That was, 2 weeks ago? Not even. And so then this comes, and you see a guy that was really struggling and has been struggling. That's the thing. This is not the first time that you saw Ranger Suarez really kind of deal with trying to get through innings, trying to get through some of the batters, finding no command, not finding the placement that he needed to find. and then all of a sudden you try to back out there. No, there you go. They might not have won the game regardless because the offense obviously wasn't clicking, but they weren't going to lose it in the way that they did had he not made that decision.
And that brings me to the struggles of Ranger Suarez, because this is time and time again something we've seen with him. In the second half of seasons, it wasn't as stark in 2023, but there was certainly a jump in ERA in 2023. It was quite evident last year, even more so evident right now where, again, it's early on in the second half of the season, but he's pitching to a 6.59 ERA in the second half of the season after a 2.15 ERA in the first half. And on top of that, it's not that he has always been a guy with high velocity that's getting guys out. But if you look at the average fastball velo over the last couple of years, 93 miles per hour in 2023, 92.1 in 2024, 90.5 right now in 2025. That's a concerning trend, not just for this season, but for his career as this continues to go. I don't know what it is. They have always flirted with the idea that his back is bothering him. He started the season on the injured list with the back stiffness. In June, they had talked about how the back was bothering him and he wasn't 100% while he was going out there. And that concerns me the rest of the way. It does feel like they have a Ranger Suarez problem that they have to address, and it brings up 1,000 different questions of the way you manage this starting rotation from now until the end of the season, but also throughout most of this season, he's been penciled in as that third starter in the postseason. He pitched in the postseason last year because the necessity was there, even though you had seen it. And it's not that he was terrible in that game. He really battled to try and get through that game against the Mets. But right now, they have a problem with where Ranger Suarez is at. And that, to me, while I get concerned about Wheeler, is another piece of this rotation that I have to figure out.
Well, it's interesting because I remember, so they were naming all the all-star pitchers, and everybody was like, why isn't Ranger Suarez? Why isn't Christopher Sanchez? And then we find out that Suarez had been asked, and he declined it. So he would rest up, take care of his body, and he would be ready. So he didn't want the same thing to happen. So that is even more disconcerting when you think about, he saw it happen last year, so he's like, I don't want that to happen this year. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to pitch in the All-Star game. I'm going to take prioritize my health and rest. And yet here we are in the second half of the season, and his ERA is absolutely ballooned. It's 3 times what it was in the first half of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really concerning. And the fact that he can't, it'd be one thing if his ERA had gotten up there and he was going 7-8 innings. He's not been going 7-8 innings. He's not getting out of the 5th. He's not getting out of the 6th.
And that almost feels like what they're protecting when they throw him back out there. Like, hey, go take the 6th, get your quality start here, and try and
rack up a couple more earned runs.
Yeah, trying to erase the idea that you're having a tough go of it right now. Like, he was good again in that Tigers game. He had the one mistake. Oh, God, I sound like Thompson saying that. He had the one mistake that 3 runs come across in a good 7 innings. Start before that against the Yankees, battle. He was able to get there, but the last 2 starts, 19 hits over those 2 starts, and you're looking at 11 2/3 innings. Like, that's not going to get it done. And he's been able to get by on being kind of pinpoint with his velocity. He was not that last night. And when you're not pinpoint with his velocity,
when you're barely hitting 90,
there's 10 hits right there. And when he is not able to really command the zone that way, it leads me to believe, and he says he's fine. Rob Thompson doesn't believe that everything's right there. There seems to be a little fatigue there. That makes me think there's fatigue there. And as we get towards the end of this season, as we continue to work towards the end of the regular season, the question about how to manage this rotation is a hot one for this Phillies team. It is still a strength for this team in a postseason series. I do not want, we have the people that I know, well, you guys kept telling us the starting rotation's a strength. Zach Wheeler's had these tough July, August stretches before and been fantastic in the postseason. Ranger Suarez also has been really good in the postseason, despite these tough stretches late in the season. I see Wheeler, Sanchez, that's your equalizer in any series. What Nola is, we're going to get to in a minute, and we're going to get to coming up.
Yes.
But that is the biggest thing. How do you manage this rotation going forward? I want to hear that from you at 610-632-0975. I think they have a Ranger Suarez problem at this point. I don't think I'm going out on a limb to say that.
No.
And I also am interested if people took the same issue with Thompson that I did last night, because it's saying one thing and doing another, and that drives me nuts, especially when I'm sitting there on the couch. Amy's sitting there at a 5-star restaurant with the TV in front of her. Austin's sitting there at the casino, high rolling, watching the game. We all see it, and we see Ranger Suarez doesn't have it, yet you throw him out there for another inning. Did you have the same issue with it that I had. And you can jump in with us at 610-632-0975. Coming up, we will talk about Aaron Nola's rehab start. We got numbers from the minor leagues that we love. He'll be back. What do they do with the return of Aaron Nola? She's Amy Fadul. I'm Ray Dunn, hanging out with you here middays, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The summer's here, and you know what that means.